Yes, I know you're looking for me, and I'll be in the art museum. Come and get me.
Where's the art museum? Where's the art museum? Where's the art museum? Where's the art museum?
How was I supposed to know?
I haven't quite made it.
If you're cold, there's also a heater in it. And, you know, Bob is an endless artist. He's not just a singer-songwriter, brilliant, you know, musician, instrumentalist. You know, he paints, he does poetry, he does, you know, he writes novels, he does animation. He's got like 20 film scripts sitting around, you know, and he's a playwright. He's done it all, man.
What else is unique about him?
I just think he's like a natural-born Renaissance man. I mean, he's always going to be getting his hands on art, no matter what it is, visual, art, music. I mean, you name it. He's going to make it artistic. I mean, go to his house, and you might see that place on Hoarders, but it's artistic as shit. Like,
Why do you call him Bob instead of Dad?
Because that's what everybody calls him.
What do you think of other people's perceptions of Bob, of your dad? That he's to many people here, he's almost like a mythic hero figure. You know, and he really is. People celebrate him, and they kind of look at him as with love. And do you think that's silly, or do you think that's legitimate, or?
I mean, I think that I think it's legitimate.
He's influenced my writing more than my music because he's a great screenplay writer. He let me borrow a bunch of his screenplays. He wrote a bunch of sci-fi screenplays. Oh, I'm the space cowboy. Like, because you can't, there's really no equation for like how much does a human being matter. Right. And Bob would tell you that every human being matters equally in their own way. Right.
Okay. And I consider him a mentor for sure. I always say that he's like enlightened almost, which he totally refuses, and he says self-realized.
I once told my wife, if you will it and you need it bad enough, it'll show itself to you. Which has come to us a whole bunch of times. You know, she needed to move, she needed to get out of Norman. She told herself that over and over. He was talking about it. And she finds a house, she finds a new job. And I think he doesn't worry about things like other people.
Oh well, I think he's life coach, guru, Jedi master. I don't know.
What?
A botanist.
Is that a botanist? What is a botanist?
That's something from a Kurt Vonnegut.
Like, I don't see him as some mythic creature. Yeah. But I understand where he's coming from, you know, like.
The golem.
Right. I mean, he just has this point of view of, you know, God is the universe. They're kind of interchangeable kind of thing, you know, like we are the universe realizing itself, and I think
we are the universe what?
Realizing itself. Because if you think about it, all we are made of are atoms, which are stardust, which came from the supernova from the star before our sun.
Okay.
Man, Bob Moore certainly rolls with the flow.
Yeah. What's your definition of God?
Man, that's it's indefinable, I guess. But I think that the universe is a perpetual motion machine, and that we can't understand God no matter how much we try, because, like I said, it has a head start. I don't think it's church.
And I was just thinking about religion, which is a bunch of people trying to define God, which is pretty much impossible. And this song just came to me. It goes, Jesus never carried a Bible. He spoke from the Spirit, or not at all. He never ever built a cathedral, or took a love offering in some sanctified hall. I bet he never rode on a church bus.
Jamachine, you need to get up, go to the church bus, do some repenting for your Saturday evening slaughter, some Sunday repenting. Jamachine, you need to get up on this church bus. Church bus, church bus, church bus filled with a teenage girls. I'm behind the wheel.
One of the things he told me recently when we were interviewing him is I asked him, what are you? Are you a musician? Are you a painter? Are you an animator? And I said, how do you define yourself? And it was interesting to me. His answer was, I consider myself a poet. And I don't really think of Bob as writing poetry really, but I was thinking about it. What does it mean to be a poet? Do you consider Bob a poet, or?
I tell you what.
Okay.
I lived with Bob.
Okay.
You say he considers himself a poet.
Right.
And I'm living in this adjacent self-made building that he built to the trailer home that he had purchased and put on the lot. And we're walking through there, and there are all these like 6 by 6 foot paintings. And I asked him, I said, who made those? And he goes, oh, I did. I had a time there. I think I made about 120 of them. So, I know him as a musician. I walked in there, and there's 120 paintings of him. And then you tell me, when you ask him what he thinks he is, he says, oh, I'm a poet. So.
Nothing more is static. Yeah, the rules are bound to change. Pyramids of power are soon to rearrange. Waves of information sing out the siren's tune, luring forth the seamen from this island in the moon.
Okay, for the sake of William Blake, if you look on Creatures of the Mind, there's a picture of it here right before this. It's got some quotes from Blake. And one of my favorite poets, he was a multimedia artist. He hand drew all his books. He lived in poverty his whole life because he was a victim of the creative experience. The creative process was the dominant force. He didn't care if he had money or not. That didn't matter. And when Ginsberg met with the Beatles and Dylan in England, he asked if they had read William Blake. So, it's contemporary even to this moment. I'm doing an illustrated poem here from a video I made back in the 90s called The Gallery for the Terminally Weird. I hope you enjoy it. It's one of the road markers on the map to the art museum. Creative process is more of a measure of success than cash. That's kind of the message.
Poor little woman, streak isn't told. Bad dog is coming. You better hope his chain is strong.
From the beginning, God conceived of polarity within self, matter, and its melodic counterpoint, and with infinite possibilities chose simplicity, conceived atom. And God said, let there be fission. Thus the stars were born unto gravity, heavy elements flashed to majestic proportion. And these begat compounds, molecular consciousness emerged as God willed the spheres to fit his fancy. Solar systems spawned infinite in diversity, limited in conversation, rigid in their adoration of existing law. And equally on the opposite scale, God conceived the living cell, who, overwhelmed by cosmic grandeur, looked to God in wonder, and God said, be fruitful, multiply. And in an age of seconds injected the genetic code, double helix dispensation. Thus the concept of evolution began.
remember we used to go do those, record for you and Edmund and that brat, that Subaru brat he had.
Okay, I think I might remember that. Yeah.
And Bob, instead of like using Bondo, he would just like frame up a side and then spray that great stuff, spray can foam in there. And one time we got out to record and Brad Pitt was like, "That car is like you, Bob." And he was like, "Yeah, it's full of great stuff." So, I mean...
Bob is more comfortable where he is in the 21st century. I mean, that's why he called his last record Hymns of the 21st Century. And the cover of that, which like all of his art, is just this kind of schizophrenic mashup of everything, but Bob always goes back to Spaceship Earth. There's only one, you know, it's like we're living on this thing that's just floating out there in the universe, and everybody is hell-bent on fucking it up. You've got terrorism and racism and violence and poverty and everything that's just, you know, we're sucking our resources dry. But Bob's perspective, if there's even a term for it, is you have to remember we're all on the same rock.
Right.
And we should all be trying to better ourselves and everyone around us. And there's absolutely no hope for the planet and by the planet I don't just mean like I'm a Greenpeace guy, let's save the whales and stop fracking. I'm totally for that, but I mean people.
Yeah.
Check, testing. Hello there. Welcome to Groove Fest 2014. My name is Bob Morrison. People call me Space Dog. I won't be doing any of that material that has to be done after 11 today. I was just thinking I have 29 songs that are relevant to human rights, and I won't be playing all of them today either. But I have the CD, it's called Hymns of the 21st Century, and this is the flagship of all those. It'd be cool if you listened, or you might not get the jokes. These are pleasant chords anyway. It's not black and white. It's not day and night. It's not left and right. It's not man and woman. It's people who make them changes, who have the future dream. It's people in general, for better, for worse. Like water is ice and is steam. It's not right or wrong. It's not here or there. It's not evolution or creation, rehabilitation or the electric jet.
Certain material in the next display may be disturbing to children who are 8 and under.
In the morning, away without warning, I call your name for cosmic pain. You feel so warm inside, receive coming back. Someday in the morning, very early without warning, someday.
What do you think your dad's brain looks like? If we could take his brain out and study it, how many more lines does it have in it than my brain?
I don't know, it probably has less gray matter. If I had to guess. I don't know. That'd be for the scientists to figure out.
Okay. I bet she's got a really unusual looking brain with all kinds of like ridges.
Well, maybe it's like Benjamin Franklin's. They have the same birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Fun fact.
My brothers, we must all hang together, or we shall surely hang separately. Hymn
By way of carpet plane, yes, she'll sing her songs again. Evenings will begin its song. The enemy will sing along. By way of atom bomb.
I mean, like the atom bomb's been around for almost 50 years, and only one country's ever used it.
The mutants will be rusted on. Turtles will provoke the dead. Leaders will no longer be by way of microwave. We'll all be scientific slaves. Twisted beds of DNA determine us of what you say.
If we spent $20 billion on ships that could go out and help people during disasters instead of bombing stuff, and that's going to take a long time to do it, but we all have our cell phones in our pocket, and we're all going to have to be journalists to make that kind of thing happen. But we have the power, so I'll repeat it. By way of cargo plane, the earth shall sing her songs again. The evenings will begin its song. The enemies will sing along. By way of apathy. All right.
Where are they arguing?
Pyramid in each one, and an Easter island, and there's that cat pushing the ball up the hill in Greek mythology. And there's a cross in everyone in a golf course because people worship golf. And then there's always like the egg with the rainbow coming out of it. This is all like chaos painting where you just scribble it and then you stare at it till you see a vision, and then you bring it out, but I would say nothing here is actually finished. I like this girl, she's got a baby in her, and it's like, mainly I'm just trying to make something that looked deep. And whenever I got all these big paintings, I was teaching animation at OU because nobody else could. And they told me to clean out the painting room. And so I got all the big canvases, and he goes, just burn them, throw them in the dumpster. So I brought them all out here, and I sprayed them all white, and then I repainted them. And that's why sometimes you can see textures in them that are at the wrong place. And then I have no idea what most of them are about, but that's kind of like Jordan. I was painting pictures of her, but they don't look like her. Over these here are like, this is Gods with Clay Feet again. See, you got like the Easter Island guy and all this crap. And I was going to write fuck in it, but the telephone post was the F, but I never could figure out how to do the rest of it. That was just like getting in the winter on a piece of board. That's chaos crap. It's like, if you look close at it, sometimes you can see double images. Sometimes you can see faces and stuff in them. It's a Burning Dog Day. We're having a party. It's like a art and music party where people just come and do. There's no plan, but it turns out to be really cool. People do. Different people develop their stuff and come out here and show it off.
And who are these guys?
That's my dogs, Steve and Roxy.
Which is which?
This is Steve. There were 19 Steves in his litter. He's the only one that got to stay. So, what do you say? Y'all want to go? If you want to watch me kill a black bug, every morning I get up and these are black potato beetles, and they invade everything. They lay eggs all over, and you can tell they're there. I probably kill 100 of them a day because I don't like to use chemicals.
Well, nobody You know, nobody's tripped more hallucinogenic drugs than Bob.
Well, here's one. Is that one right there? Oh yeah, they're always on the bottom. And
Just assume that yours, let your passport, and I won't let anyone slide.
I hate kill shit, but they just piss me off.
I spent many a night like climbing up the tower trying to get a guitar up there to play songs on top of the tower at the house, you know.
And I'm on the roof of the tower. I figure if you can get up there, you're smart enough not to fall off. It's so hard to get up there. If you were really wasted, you couldn't get up there. You have to climb up through a little hole.
Yeah, that keeps the losers off the roof.
And you know, you have to be pretty agile. I mean, I'm big and fat, but I can crawl in spaces other people can't. And it's built over the storm shelter, and it's built out of Doc Blue's old house. I tore his house down and built it. Almost everything here is built out of something else, you know, coming from some other place. And I planted most of these trees back in '92. And I went to the Forestry Service and said I was going to start a wildlife refuge. And I got like possums and raccoons and all kinds of crap living here now. Birds and hawks and...
Oh, wow! It just farted a fireball! Wow! It's fireballs out, you baby!
This was fairly absurd to try to recreate an improv, but yeah, Marx is Spartans. And it was based on Isaiah's if you'll just give us that rhythm, and are you on, Clint? Once we get that.
Oh, yeah! I think I know what I'm talking about.
Caballero, ¿dónde está la sustancia del artificio? Mi deducción es táctico. Chinga, ¿qué pasó? Por favor, ¿qué es el camino del guanito? ¿Dónde están mis pies? El 6 del ochito, los develeros. ¿Dónde están mis pies? El 6 del ochito, los develeros. Señor Caballero, ¿dónde está la sustancia del artificio? Mi deducción es correctamente. Y yo quiero la música del artificio, es fantástico. Chinga, ¿qué pasó? Por favor, ¿qué es el camino del guanito? ¿Dónde están mis pies? Aquí, es aquí. Es aquí. Aquí. Quiero una más. Me alegre cantar.
Give me gold, give me night. I don't care about my life. I wanna go robbing, I wanna go stealing.